Now that you may want to make me co-host.
There she is. How are you this evening? You are muted.
I'm doing really good.
That's good. That's
How are you?
well, I got first place in the international competition and in the evaluation competition on the area level. So
That's awesome.
I was unopposed.
I bet.
Well, in one of them. No, I actually had to compete against somebody.
Don't tell me that.
No, she
I've
had
been
to
an
work.
area director for the last 3 years.
Congratulations.
So I haven't been able to compete at all.
Oh, what I've got here.
Oh, it's a little after 8. I don't see anybody in the waiting room. Vicky wasn't going to be here because she had to do some sort of, oh, what do you call it? It was for the Historical Society in Sydney, the live action, something of the sort. So it was a big deal. So she wasn't going to be here tonight. I don't know about Cynthia or Amy or anybody else. I got the notice out late. It was a real surprise to me because I sent it out, Friday? And somewhere buried in all of my other emails was a thing that says your email didn't go through. I go, I haven't seen that out. So real late getting that out. I'm sorry.
I was in the middle of another meeting and I thought, I haven't got a link yet for yours.
Yep. Better late than never.
Yeah. It happens.
Yep. We were at a World of Wonder Toastmasters group, and that club is not quite chartered yet, but it's on the way, and it does all science fiction fantasy type interests. And so everybody had a picture of Mars on there, and Mark put this picture of Mesa Verde on there. And it was red, so everybody thought it was Mars. And they said, they found those structures on Mars? Oh, wait a minute.
The buildings are in a cave, or basically in a really shallow cave. So if they were on Mars, we wouldn't be able to see them anyway from satellite.
Yeah, that's true. Would there be caves though?
Who knows what's up there?
I don't know, because Hawaii is in the middle of the ocean, the largest volcano in the solar system, largest known volcano in the solar system is on Mars.
That's true.
Most of the Hawaiian volcano, the Big Island, is underwater.
Yeah, they said the one on Mars is over a mile high.
Really?
I think it's taller than that because I have to look it up, but there's volcanoes on Earth that are in the 2 mile high range.
Got a Cornhusker sweatshirt on?
Yeah. It's got nice big pockets that you can't see that I use to carry things like my billfold when I go out and about. I'm a little worried it's starting to warm up and it won't be quite as appropriate.
It's below freezing here today, and it was snowing again. So we have quite a while to wait until the sun shines. Warms up.
Yikes.
But I remember when I was in Beatrice, so for a while it was 102, 103 degrees down there, and my hotel was right beside the stockyards, and the wind blew this way, and it was not the best place to be. And I was there when the tornado hit downtown Beatrice. That was a fun night.
Yeah, that was a while back.
Mm-hmm. It was. We were walking out in the park. There's a park just outside, I guess, going west, where the Oregon Trail went through. And we were walking through that, and the clouds were looking very, very strange. And all of a sudden, the sun just shone right down on us. And someone said, "Oh, someone up there is really looking out for us." And after our walk, we went back to the restaurant, and that whole area was completely destroyed 2 hours later.
Wow.
Like, wow. Someone was looking out for us.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I found the mountain on Mars. 16 miles high.
Yeah.
16 miles high. Good Lord. So that's bigger than Mount Everest by a figure of about 10 miles. 10 miles higher than Mount Everest. That's weird. Oh, I have a feeling this is it. And I'm a little disappointed, but hey, I'm not surprised since I got the thing out there so late. But okay, so one of the things I wanted to figure out is the reaction to this whole program. Did it help any?
For me, absolutely, it helped. Gave me a lot of ideas. Some I haven't acted out yet, but it got me a lot of different thoughts of where I can go to find new members for the clubs that I'm dealing with. But also, it gave me, like, how do I say it? To know that my ideas weren't bad. It gave me some verification that what I was thinking was the right thing.
That was good. That was good. Was there anything that you wish we had spent more time on?
I guess my one thing is my wording. I have to learn my sales techniques again. I've been retired for a while, but to get back to know the tie downs, what to be saying, because you said about all the things you would say to get a new person in without saying, "Oh, Toastmasters is really going to help you." It's like what the questions to be asking. Exactly. And I know that sales techniques, I just got to go. So what are those? And I actually went and talked to one of my advanced groups, which has a meeting on Tuesday night, right after that meeting. And I talked with them about asking the right questions to get other people in. So I need to practice that and get that smoother and transmit that information onto other people to be doing that, not just say, "Oh, Toastmasters can really help you." Well, like lots of things can really help us. It's how specifically, and to get them with the right conversation.
A lot of
times, gave me great ideas. We
tend to rush up to somebody and tell them what their problems are. And stop. No, you ask them what they would like to improve. Where would you like to be in 5 years? what do you think would be the first step for you to be comfortable under these circumstances where if you could have a place to practice, wouldn't that help, or is that, would that be something you'd be interested in? So that if we could do this, and then would there be any reason why you couldn't, right? Or if we could give you all the stuff you like and none of the stuff that you hate, would that be worth your time to check out? But those are all like sales questions.
Mhm.
Okay, so a little bit more role playing maybe. Yeah, I'm keeping notes of these, so
Okay.
okay. So how many of our suggestions did you actually put to use?
Well, that one, as I went and talked to my advanced club and told them some of the ideas that we come up with. In my home club, I actually given them some of the links to the meeting and showed them where the blog was so that they could get some more ideas there. And I really talked about this, the part of what do we really want our club to be, like what, instead of grabbing everybody, retired people, young people, what do we want the focus of our club to be? And that was something we just had never thought of before. So we're still talking about putting that in place. We're talking about let's focus everything on the younger generation, and how do we do that?
Yeah, because a lot of times, well, for instance, it seems that the Toastmasters International is trying to grab younger people and get them involved in Toastmasters. Why? Because if you take a look, we're all old people. And, Smedley's original idea was that it was going to work with younger people just getting into the workforce. So, Mary, I'd like to ask you some questions too. Are you on?
I am.
Good.
It's
Okay. All right. Oh, I love that scarf. That's so pretty.
looks gorgeous.
Thanks.
All right. So first of all, what was the most influential lesson that you learned from the course?
I really enjoy the aspect of learning about the avatar and trying to figure out my club's, how the club is made up. That's one of the things that last year I was the area director and fell in love with this particular club and their struggle. And I've really been focused on trying to figure out, why they are not successful, why they're not growing, and those types of things. And bringing some things even to their attention in the whole lesson about creating your own avatar. It's like, what type of people are we wanting that we need to invite the people that are closest to us. Those are the type of people that we want in the club and those types of things. So that was very interesting. So when I just heard Marge talking about younger people, I think my club is really not a club that is focusing on bringing younger people. We are doing things that if younger people come in, it's really great. We can use their energy and those types of things, but really they're just a group of people who really are trying to focus on our generation and having a place for us to enjoy being able to speak and not necessarily trying to go out and make millions as speakers. That it seems as many of the younger people are focused on using their talents for the purpose of their profession. And so that's the portion that I love about it. And just being able to bring that information back to the club in a different manner.
Oh, was there anything that you wish we had spent more time on?
No, and I'm not really a good person to ask that because I've been in and out sporadically. It's there's an hour, it's like 9:46 here. So usually, I hate to say that many times I've been asleep by the time it gets.
Yes, but you're here now.
but I'm here now, and I do try to go back and watch the videos and things of that nature. I don't know that there is anything that I can say concretely that I would have liked to have spent more time on.
Okay. Well, Mark brought in the idea about tie downs and the correct questions to ask people to get them to come at least take a look. And we do agree that the best approach is asking and not telling people, you know, you should come to Toastmasters because you really sound awful behind that podium. I mean, really, all of those ahs and ums. Oh, we can fix all of that. And you know, that kind of scares people away. But if we ask them questions, then they're more likely to say, you mean there's a place like that? Most of the time when Mark and I will go someplace and we have our Toastmasters face masks on and people are going, what's that? We say Toastmasters. I said, yeah, and you sell toast? They have no idea who we are. So we give them a little tiny idea about what we are. Okay. All right. So did you put any of the ideas that we discussed into play? Did you try and apply any of those in your clubs?
I can say yes, that I did. To be more specific about it, I can't tell you today at this minute what specifically were, except other than the idea about the avatars, because that's what always comes to my mind. In saying that, we talked about inviting people from our social group. And that was something, and I really specifically, I remember talking about it because we have one person who's a bowler. Well, we have two people who bowl often. And they were talking about the pandemic, that they're going bowl. You know, we were talking about the pandemic and people not wanting to go back out into the community. And then one of our members said, hey, Brenda, you know, how'd you do bowling the other day? And I said, Brenda, well, if you're bowling and those are people that you like and you're trying to get back out, are you inviting the people that you bowl with? And that was one of the things that you had asked us, talk to us about, was, you know, looking at the people that we surround ourselves with and ask them to come and visit the club.
And the thing is, it was really interesting when we were doing the individual avatars, you know, who do you hang around with and who do your people hang around with? So you've got this group of bowlers and a group of card players and a group of singers and musicians and a group of, and so there's at least one connection there. And we find out why they like bowling, why they like singing, and why they like cards. And then we say, oh, well, we've got that here at Toastmasters, and then go from there. So, but I like that. Okay. All right. Next question. All right. So of the stuff that we talked about, what seemed to resonate with you and what didn't? Mark?
I would not say anything didn't resonate with me. it all made, like, basically makes perfect sense of the things we've been talking about. And I missed the meeting about with the avatar. Was away that week, so I really missed the one with the personal avatar. But when we applied it a week later and talked about how we would set that in with our group, I found, or with our club, I found that to be extremely interesting, and I brought that back to my club. What was the question again? I just went off on this.
So what of the lessons that we went through, what resonated with you and what didn't?
Well, what did was basically what I said before about, as soon as you started to talk about the sales techniques and the right way to ask people the questions to bring them in, it was like right away that made a lot of sense to me. And I thought, well, why did I not think of that before? Of course I knew that information. So that really resonated with me right away. I really don't think there was anything that did not. I was just searching for information, and this just helped me with so many different ways of how I can approach people.
Okay,
I liked everything.
that's good. We like that. So
I came
Mary,
back every week.
what resonated with you and what didn't?
Well, there was a couple of things that I enjoyed, or I would say where I guess resonated with me, was looking at, I'm calling it a succession planning. Well, I guess it's a couple of things. First, the planning, I guess planning for what's going to happen, the strategic planning over a period of time, and I'm calling it a succession plan. And I say that because we had to look at things as far as what things we would want to do in the future that will get us in a better position. And in my particular case, for my club to grow. And one of the things that we talked about was the planning. And my club had never been a follow-through club, is what I call it. You know, they might come up with a plan and then nobody holds them to the plan. So then you get, when it's time to complete the project or create a succession plan, there isn't any because no one's done any work. So what I have done is make sure that it's written down, like hold our secretary to making sure that it's written down, providing that information out to people early, because sometimes we need reminders that we've signed up to do certain things and the follow through and completion of those tasks. And so they never had a meeting, executive meeting every month before. And that's something that we did this time because I was explaining to them in the beginning from last year that I think that you need to keep people moving, and they won't move if you don't remind them of their commitments and obligations. And everybody understands that it's voluntary, but it has changed their perspective because now when they volunteer, they think about it. Okay, if I'm volunteering for this, then I'm making this commitment and I make them give dates. Whereas that's something they had never done before. And I said, well, I want a date for myself. So I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And so that's one thing. So now we're coming up to succession planning and they're ready for it. I think that they're ready for it.
That's good. That's good. We had a strange situation in dynamic speakers. One of the things that happened is that we got this coach and she wasn't a coach like me at all. I mean, we were like, sometimes we were at loggerheads. Okay. but, you know, I wasn't going to fight with her or anything. So I just, all right, whatever, you know, whatever you say to do. She says, you don't have executive meetings. We're thinking, well, no. And she says, you're an advanced group and you meet once a month. how do you get anything done? And we said, we just do. And she says, really? I go, oh crap. So we started to meet, and the worst thing happened. We were meeting on Sunday at a Panera Bread, and for our meeting and talking about stuff. And then we had a it was a conference with Cheryl Roush was the guest speaker, and she told us that we needed to write a book. So the next time we had our executive meeting, we got to talking about it, because I tell you what, there was some nasty things that went on during the conference that we didn't like very much. And we decided at that point, let's be subversive. And we went from one meeting a month for an official meeting, and then 4 executive meetings in a month. We couldn't get enough of each other. We ended up writing a collaborative book that we got published. And the upstart of this planning, boy, we have got this planning thing down. We know we start at a certain time, and we do such and such amount of work, and we turn this in, and this is the process of how we go through and get the book ready to publish and all of that stuff. And it forced us to think ahead. And suddenly we've got more people coming to the book club than we had coming to our Toastmaster club. So yeah, finding the executive club meetings and getting stuff planned ahead, that really, really does have a great influence. So Mark,
Yeah.
sorry, Fegan, there we go.
I need to drop out briefly. My keyboard's died, so it's quit operating. So I need to drop out. Rebecca's the host, so she'll keep the meeting going, and then I'll reboot. And I was trying to check my HSA to see if they had paid money out of it recently, like they should have, and I can't enter the password.
Oh, how awful.
I will be back.
Okay. Later.
I had court this morning, and that was the whole thing was with the keyboard. And then, so I ran upstairs and to where my laptop was, and ended up on my phone because I couldn't get on with I was having something was going on. My laptop was being cranky. And then I get back downstairs after everything was over with and figure out that I needed to turn everything off and turn it back on after I've gone out and bought a new keyboard and everything else.
Oh,
It just needed to be rebooted.
I hate when that happens. Okay. What my biggest question is, who do you know that is going to be a coach this next year, or is looking to be a coach, or should be a coach because you've seen them in action? Who should know and get the information that we have? Who should we recommend take this class? Do you have anybody in mind?
I would take it again.
Because I took this class because I got a really bad coach, and I really was trying to figure out a way to do better. And for two clubs, but the other club, they're going to continue to get bad coaches, I think, because they just are really set in their ways. And they're satisfied with the coach coming in at the last minute, bringing, 10 members, help them have their 20 members. The only person I can think of, are you going to send an email or some information to them? Because we're not part of your district.
No.
Right.
I will be sending out a notification to, well, at least you guys. I mean,
You'll welcome us back when I can concentrate, won't you?
Huh? Okay.
Maybe
all right,
next year will be a better year for me to concentrate.
So
I'm
my
supposed to
question
coach
is-
next year. That's what I'm supposed to coach, hold a club that I don't know anything about, but
Right.
I was trying to coach from the inside this year.
Cool. So my question is this a good time? Or is it like too late?
For this year, like,
Well,
or the actual time at night.
if we were going to do it again this next year, mostly depends on who the club growth director is and whether or not they think that I'm doing a good job. And here's the real cool thing. Here I started this thing. I had 56 people that were interested in taking this course. And oh well, but since then I've gotten invited to do a session for District 47. And then I got another invite to Region 8, and I don't have any information on that yet. I got an invitation to District 99 in Saskatchewan, I think. And so I will be doing a presentation for their conference. So apparently everybody likes the avatar speech. So that's fine. You know, it's something people haven't thought of before.
It was funny, B, that you said that about the invitation, because I think it was a few months ago. I was wondering, I said, I wonder, would she come and speak at our club?
Actually, yeah, sure I would. Absolutely. I would. It would be fun. We could do all kinds of games and stuff. And I might have to dress up a bit.
Well, you see, I got a rag on my head.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right.
You're
Let's
right
see.
at all.
All right. Okay. You can't see. Wait a minute. Hold on. I
You're
have
in
to
that
take
green.
off. All right. Dagnabbit.
Monty
Okay.
Python.
There we go. Okay. Right. Monty Python. It's just a
Oh, it's
flesh
just a flesh wound.
wound. So, yeah, right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and lest anybody wonder, yes, I am a space cadet. See? Okay. Anyway, oh, this is the group that we ended up with that wrote the books.
Okay.
And so you can see it's a really diverse group. We don't have everybody up there because Chip wasn't able to come, but Chip is 73 or 74. He's in a wheelchair and has two PhDs. And Nick, the guy in the blue shirt, has a PhD. And then let's see here, the ladies in the back, I think they all have a college degree. I have 2 bachelors, and we got people in the military and people who are programmers and people who are social workers and people who, well, the gal on the far right, she's not she's not in the back row, but she's next to the back row. She's standing behind the guy in the blue shirt. Okay, she's deaf. So it's an interesting group. And we shouldn't even be friends because we don't travel in the same circles. We don't do anything in common. But we write together. Anyway. Oh, who do you think would be, oh, this is awful. This is a test. What do you think the avatar of this particular group is?
Mm,
That's sneaky, isn't it?
good question.
Avatar would be a, do you know the cell named amoeba? I will say now, disclaimer, it's my favorite cell. And the reason why is, and I have actually a business named Amoeba's Trinket Chest after me, because my name one of my pseudonyms is Amoeba Jones. But I like that cell because it is one of, you know how some cells are just, oh, they're round or they're oval or something like that. But the amoeba cell is like all over. You know, it spreads and breaks up and has, you know, it's just on it does its own thing. And I just kind of think about this group as one of those that has like all these moving people to it, you know, that could be an avatar for it, because it's very diverse and it's not the same all the time. And so.
Okay, okay.
moves towards-
So where do we look for amoebas? Check the back of the refrigerator.
Just Google it.
That was not fair. I should have given you a little bit of thought and time to think about it, but I was just curious what you thought the avatar for this group would be. What kind of people are we looking for? And I'm thinking, well, we need area directors so that they can teach people how to coach. We're looking for people who know they're not going to get a coach because there aren't enough coaches to go around. So people who want to save their clubs, but they're not after it to make sure that they get the award. They want to make sure that their club survives. And they figure that they're not on the edge of, you know, folding. So they're down on the list of priorities for most of the people that will get a coach are going to be the ones that are desperate. And if you're not desperate, then how do you save your club? So the people that want to desperately save their club, most of them are in multiple clubs. Not all of them though. I'd say about 50 or 60% of the people that are that dedicated to a club are going to be in multiple clubs. They may have sought out leadership positions in the district. They come to every event that you can throw at. They volunteer for projects and to help with conferences and other types of events. They're enthusiastic about Toastmasters. Okay, so where would we find those people?
We could find them if we go to other clubs outside of Toastmasters and see the movers and the shakers and some of the other clubs, other like Rotary or something like that, someone who's civically minded, and see if we could rope them in. That's the idea.
I mean, you really, and really detailing out about the people who are really dedicated to the success of their club are the type of people that would fit with this coaching training. I was going to say experience with this training experience are really the people who are really interested in helping their particular club. And I certainly agree that they're probably a member of more than one club and actively engaged in their district.
I like that.
I don't, honestly, I guess my experience with area directors, I would not see them as a member of this group because their focus is so different to me than a coach. Just in my experience.
I think one of the problems that we had is the area directors were being area directors, and they were showing up and doing their 2 visits to each club a year, and they thought that was it. That's all they had to do. And then they would get a pat on the back and another step closer to their DTM. And then there were others. Well, I had 4 area directors that when I was a division director, and only one of them showed up to the district executive council meetings. Only one. And the other 3 just, oh, well, hey, it's the weekend. I go on my motorcycle on the weekend. Oh, really? Yeah. You care about your clubs? Not really. You're supposed to be the resource for them, guys, you know. But you know, they were one of them, rather than getting really involved in the area director job, which is what the role that he was in, he got into the tech side of the district and figuring out the technology type challenges, because we were just getting into recording the competition speeches and stuff like that to do that. And so he was very helpful on that, and working on the newsletter and PR and that type of thing. And he was doing that. He was having all sorts of fun with that, but he didn't ever come to the district executive council meetings. And I had to hound him to get his reports in. So, okay, all right. So where would be a good place to let them know that we have this available? You guys have a newsletter or announcements or something that go out to your districts?
We have a newsletter that goes out, and where I got this was when you put it on the Toastmasters Facebook group.
That's where I got it from as well. And we have a district Facebook group, and we have a newsletter. And honestly, the people in our news, very few people read the newsletter. I've found that even as president and as area director, I would have to summarize the information in there and then send an email to my people and ask them to read it, or as I do at my club, make the announcements during our club meeting myself as president, even though everybody in the club has received the newsletter.
Yeah, it
Much
goes to the bottom of the pile.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll plead guilty on that. I didn't even read it the 3 years I was on the trio. I knew, well, I got the excuse kind of. I knew it was going to be in it.
Now, I will say
Including
that
article I
our
wrote it.
trio has been pretty good about at least when I was an area director, I always included them in my I would do a weekly email to my area. I included them in there, and one of them would respond. Thank you. I got just at least that they had received the information. If there was something specific that I had a question about, they were really good and responsive. This year, I don't know that I see the same type of response. It's, different people. But certainly the growth director, I would think, should be open to receiving the information as another option.
All righty. Okay, so I will continue to advertise this on the TI website or Facebook, and put out an Eventbrite invitation for next year. And I like I said, is this a good time for people, or is this too late?
There is no good time.
That's no good time.
It's,
That's it right there.
Yeah, so Mark's club meets on from 6 until 8, and the reason we're getting on at 2 minutes before 8 is because traffic. And so I'm sitting here biting my nails and everything. So but with the international community that we had, I mean, well, let's see, Rupinder was from United Arab Emirates, and let's see, Vicky was from Australia, and we had a couple from South Africa, and other, as I said, we had one from Saskatchewan, one from Quebec, and one from British Columbia, a few from California. And the ones that are sticking with me, boy, they're doing real good.
okay, Cynthia couldn't make it tonight because tomorrow she and her husband are driving to Denver to get, they're going to camp in an office someplace until they issue them passports, because they've got tickets to go to Africa. On
Dubai.
Dubai. Dubai, is that Africa? Yeah, that's got to be Africa. No?
Middle East.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's not here. Not in the United States. And I think so that's why Cynthia's not here. Amy's not here because she's working. She does tech support at a local company overnights. She was barely awake for a meeting at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And and it's just.
And she's our coach, she's a sweet, sweet kid and everything. And you say, so what do you think, Amy? And she's like, and it's funny because Cynthia's husband works overnights in the post office. And so what do you think, Anthony? So I got two of them that are nodding off during the meeting. We're thinking, oh, we have really exciting meetings, don't we?
That is a reasonably good time to have a meeting, except about every other meeting I can't get there because I have a meeting for work.
Yeah.
I just, and evenings are the same way. Saturday, I've got an advanced club meeting, then a contest to watch, and then another club meeting. And I'm supposed to be able to take it easy on Saturdays.
Right. Well, yeah, and they had a Division C.
Yeah. One
Was
of our
that division? No, area C.
Oh, it's Division C. Was
Division C. I missed that. So, yeah, they've got contests going on here. I've got another one Thursday for evaluation. And then Saturday, I'm heading out to England, and I'm coming back on the Friday. And
Friday,
the 9th, which is on the Saturday, I have my international competition, and so yeah, I may be a little bit jet lagged. Like, dude, like I went to England and this is what it looks like, and here's my vacation pictures. Oh, and go and do things. Here's my call to action. So,
go you therefore and do things. Yeah.
yeah.
One of the things I have noticed is, at least in our district, and I don't think it's too much different anyplace else, is a lot of the people who volunteer or even are elected to district offices, more likely the ones that are volunteering, don't follow through with the commitment. You know, I've been, actually this year I'm ex officio in the district executive committee, and I haven't gotten to a meeting. So I'm not a great one to talk, but the previous 6 years I was on deck, I missed, I think, one meeting. And that was because we had a previous conflict and they changed the date of the executive committee meeting. Because when they asked me originally to be an area governor, I took that as a serious commitment. And I'm not sure some of our people do that. We've had to replace, I had to replace, last year I had to replace 1 or 2 area directors and at least 1 division director because they didn't feel like finishing the year.
Well, I remember one year when we replaced the same area director at least 3 times. And so they got an area director that came in, and then she left, and then another area director that came in and he left, and then another area director that was like having to do like 4 other jobs at the same time. And, they managed to make it to the end of the year, but it was, well, Gloria didn't get any credit whatsoever for being an area director, even though she did the job solo, because she came in
Late. She was
October. Yeah,
Yeah.
she came in October, and so she didn't get credit for being an area director. And she knew she wasn't going to get credit, and she did it anyway. She was a sweetheart.
We have had some people, really dedicated people, that have done that. One of whom will be our district director next year. He came in and we needed an area director. He said, yeah, I can do it. They said, you won't get any credit. And he says, I don't care. I'll do it. And he did a super job. And that's what got him back in. That's what got him into district leadership. But yeah, I don't know. You have the same problem. Somebody posted on Toastmasters International members group. Have you ever had somebody sign up, pay their dues, and you never see them again? Yeah, I had that happen to me.
So I've got one more question. Were there any issues that we did not discuss that you wish we had when it comes to coaching?
Trying to think. I don't think there was anything that that I had experienced so far that we didn't bring up and talk about. Now, when I try to be a coach, just a coach next year, not everything else going with it, I might just come back and watch again and see if there's anything else that I could. I do feel free just to ask you a question online if I do have a problem.
Good. That's one of the nice things about having a larger group is because at least then you're running into, you know, questions that maybe nobody else has thought of yet. And then everybody gets involved in solving the problem. And that was really stimulating. That was really lots of fun. Okay. Could you think of anything, Mary, that we should add to the curriculums that we should have covered and didn't? The use of capital punishment? No.
No, I can't think of anything. I'm just really glad you all were available and that I ran across it, to be honest. I was trying to get training at the same time through our district, and it wasn't what I needed.
Right.
So I've really, even though I was like, well, I'm not, even though I won't get credit for this training, I'll have to go through their training.
Right.
This was
Well,
just
at least they had
been
some
really
training.
helpful. I'm sorry.
At least they had some training, but
Well, you know,
how long does their training last?
it's an hour once a month. There's an hour that is training, and then there's an hour that is coaches, you know, discussions about their what's going on in the different clubs. So I just felt like it wasn't, you know, for me, it just wasn't what I needed.
Wasn't really a curriculum of study.
Exactly.
All right. All right. Okay. Who would we contact in order to offer this type of training so that your district wouldn't have to worry about it? I mean, you know, if we could have somebody that would come in and do just coaches training, and I happen to know a gal. Would we contact the club growth director? Because they're the ones in charge of that. I'm
Okay,
sure they've
yeah.
got club growth directors group meetings, don't they?
Yeah, they meet with, once a month, they meet with the regional advisor or advisors.
Okay.
Well, but that's, you know, I went through 3 years of those at the different levels, and I could understand why some people didn't get to the meeting.
Yeah.
As I say, you know, when I take something on, I commit to it and I follow through with it. But it got to, so often it was, give us a report on what you're doing. And what I would have liked to have seen was, let's exchange some ideas on how we can do a better job with the office we're in.
You know, I think just as soon as the club growth director is identified, or, you know, who is up for the vote for the district, is, you know, reaching out to them would be great, because it's, you know, just couching it as one thing off their plate.
Yeah, that's for
You know,
sure.
they don't have to develop a curriculum. There's already one in place. And
Well, yeah, and I've already got the materials now.
yeah, because you wrote a book.
Yep.
Yes.
I haven't published it yet. Maybe I should.
Yeah, having been a coach, club coach, and I actually got credit for it. Although I also got the club back to where it was actually successful and sustainable. But as a bonus, they became distinguished. I found that the materials provided by Toastmasters International were not very good.
Yeah, I looked at their
How to build a
page,
successful club.
and you know, I was flabbergasted by how bad it was. You know, you have to convince them that Toastmasters is worth it, and I'm thinking they're in the club already. They already know it's worth it. Okay, come on, guys. And so there wasn't a whole lot of questions going on. There wasn't a whole lot of training going on. And so it was lip service, I think. But it was pretty weak.
And the approach I used with that club might not work with other clubs.
Yeah.
But I've also given presentation, including to this group last year, I believe it was, on what I had done. But you've got to please get across to your coaches. You have got to engage the club, but not take it over.
Now, that's been the hardest thing that we've had, is that everybody expects the coach to go in with their magic wand, put in, well, like Mary says, there's 6 to 10 paper members, and then leave, and then take their people with them, and they're back into the same place they were. We actually had one that had paper members that came into our club, and they didn't even know they were members of our club. So yeah, that was a little sneaky. They didn't do a whole lot of research into how legitimate the club members were. And
that was a bit of a scandal at International a couple of years ago.
It was.
I heard from
They may still be doing it.
Oh yeah, I heard from one guy at either at one of our training sessions or at the convention that he said he was really shocked to find out that he was the vice president of education of a club he didn't know he was a member of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oops. But we had a club in Omaha that they were in my area in my first year as an area governor. They came into the year charter strength, distinguished. By the end of, then I moved to another area the next year, and I became division director the year after. I had the sad duty of closing the club down as a division director, because the coach that really got them distinguished brought in a bunch of paper or brought in a bunch of people that were not committed to long-term success of the club.
Yeah, and she was our district got the distinguished because we started, I believe, 3 clubs in the 2 or 3 days before the end of the year. Yes. Two of them are advanced
Which
clubs.
are still going.
Yeah, and one was that Why Not Speak?
I don't remember there were 5 new clubs chartered that year. 3 of them, I think just 3 of them are still in existence.
Yeah, and so it's been 7 years now.
8 years.
8 years now, and these clubs that people were expecting to fold didn't, and we're like, oh no, you've got some legitimate clubs here. We're going to be making a go of this. So one of them is the club that you go to if you want to get to your DTM. They are really focused on their education. So if you are in a club and you may meet twice a month instead of 4 times a month, or there was one club that was meeting for a half hour. Can you imagine having a whole club meeting in a half hour? And so they needed time for people to give longer speeches and everything to get them distinguished and everything, and to get distinguished Toastmasters. And so this club would say, okay, we're going to have an evaluation event. and we're going to teach you how to do evaluations. Then we're going to have several speeches and several evaluations, and you're going to learn this really well. And it'll give you a chance, give them a chance to do the longer speeches, give you a chance to do some evaluation. And then and they provided a venue where people could get their DTMs. So now nearly everybody in the whole club, it has a DTM. And people are afraid to join it because they think you have to have a DTM to start. We're thinking, no, we got it here.
Well, we don't present our image very well for our avatar.
Yeah.
It's,
So that was one of the problems. And the other one was they're trying to get people up to the epitome of speaking, so that like competitive speaking and professional speaking and that type of stuff. And so we try to put that out there, and people are saying, who cares? Speaking? What? No, I said, all I have to do is 140 characters with my thumbs. So they're still going. Both of those clubs that they were expecting to drop off are still going, and the community club is still going. And let's see, I don't remember what the other two clubs were.
one of them is folded. That was Royal Babblers was the name of the club.
Oh yeah, well they had some problems. The church that they were meeting in closed for some renovations, and then they changed their policy about who was going to be allowed in, and so they're bouncing around trying to find a venue, and then COVID hit. They're going, okay.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to tell us something. But how was that? Okay, well, we've got some good things to think about, and I will start this up in July again, sending out invitations and stuff, and spread the word. If you would like me to give a presentation to your district about avatars, about coaching, about anything like that, then make sure that your trio knows that this is available, so that and then I'll try and attract the attention of the CQDs. Is that right? CGDs. More CGDs in the Toastmasters Facebook page to let them know that this is available. Because I tell you what, this has been a fun group. So I've really enjoyed your company, and I will make sure that you have access to this. In fact, I think to avoid problems, I'm going to get my own Zoom account so I can go as long as I want. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. Yes.
I have a question. Do you know how many people have actually listened to your recordings?
I don't know
I
how
know
to
this-
find that out.
Okay, because I've really been promoting your recordings for people. Like, says, look, this is her blog, this is her recordings. If you can't come to the meetings, which I think, I didn't answer your question, but I think the 9:30, well, it's 9:30 to me, is a perfect time, because I've already finished my meeting tonight. I had an executive meeting and did my phone calls, and then got right into this meeting.
There you go.
This is a good time. But I was just wondering, I've let lots of people know about your recordings, and I know that gentleman from the East was here last time. He said, yeah, he said he listened to your recordings. So you might have a lot more following than you know about.
That would be good. That would be good. So I will send out the recording of this, and we'll see.
I've been bad on this one.
Yeah, they will be so jealous because we had so much fun.
We did.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank
Have
you.
a good night, everybody.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
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 Yep.